under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much for coming out on a beautiful evening. First item on our business, it would appear to me, is to have a commission report by our Mason County Chamber of Commerce. And Heidi, would you like to come forward and give that report?
Good evening. In accordance with our agreement for the City of Shelton, I'm happy to present this first quarter tourism report. First, our Facebook page has over 1,800 fans. It's a way that we continuously share business news, events, and information. During first quarter, our Facebook page attracted just over 38,000 unique users, had a weekly average of engaging just shy of 3,000 people. Top post was an announcement of the Skookum Rotary Scholarships, which received just about 2,500 unique users. And then the second most popular was about the Port of Shelton and Lynch Creek Farms grant, which reached just over 2,000 unique users. If you look at the top grid right there, Shelton continues to be the highest number of users. That's followed by Olympia, Union, Lacey, Belfair, and Seattle in that order. So it's nice to see.
Seattle? No, I'm sorry to interrupt you. So could you say that again?
Certainly. So looking at the first quarter, there was about 38,000 unique users. The city that had the highest number of users was Shelton, and that was followed by Olympia, and then Union, Lacey, Belfair, and Seattle in that order. Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying, and I'm just doing this because I'm trying to absorb it, your Facebook page got more hits than Seattle's for their Chamber of Commerce?
No, people from Seattle that are looking at our Facebook page.
I mean, I knew we were big, but I was
They
just,
should be looking.
I was kind of going, oh, wait a second. Okay, I think I understand that. Thank you.
I would like that, but no.
We can only shoot so far on that. Okay, sorry about that.
Mm-hmm. So moving on to the visitor information centers, we do have about 20 volunteers that donate their time between our chamber office, the caboose, and the Hoodsport Visitor Center. We did see a slight decrease of visitors through our doors. Specifically, I think we can attribute that to the weather. Looking at the incredibly dismal days, the counts were quite a bit down. And you can see that reflected in that change there. So March being the best of the 3 months in the first quarter, then we were only down a total of 11 people. So I anticipate that during the summer we'll see that increase, and all indicators are pointing towards a record-breaking year again.
Good.
Also phone calls right there. You can see that they were increased in January and February. Typically when people are not walking into the visitor centers, we'll see an increase in phone calls, and then when people are actually out and about, we'll see a decrease in those phone calls. So that's where it's typically at. Looking onto the website and calendar, our top page again was our calendar, and then that was followed by the employment page as our second most visited page on our Facebook or on our website. Lastly, we wrote, designed, edited, and distributed another issue of the Bite magazine. I know you're all familiar with it. We mail out 18,000 copies and then have a couple extra thousand that goes to neighboring visitor information centers as well as lobbies, waiting rooms, etc. across the county. So we don't use any LTAC funds for this publication, but we do promote community events as well as what's happening. We did do feature stories on bluegrass from the forest, as well as an update on the Railroad Avenue Road Diet, and then, of course, our calendar of events. So that's all that I have for you in this report. Do you have any questions?
Any questions?
I don't have. Thank you.
I like this. Pretty informative. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
And I'll just for entertainment purposes or whatever, just ask a few questions. Yeah, this has been a real hard January, February, and March for the rain.
Absolutely.
So that's probably the effects on the visitors walking around. I know that some businesses have been a little bit slow in the February, March timeframe, but we saw the sun come out today, and so hopefully that will pick things up. And we all want to remind everybody, seeing how we are on what do you call the web and the radio and stuff, that we definitely want people to think about shopping local. And we really want people to come out, that the sun is out, and a major portion of the city's income and stuff comes from people doing business here in town, and we just want to know that we need to tell everybody to come on down and eat at our restaurants and shop at our stores and stop by the chamber office. So
Absolutely.
sounds good. Thank you very much.
Great,
I
thank you.
appreciate it. All right, next on our agenda is our weekly commission reports, things that we're planning to do this week. And I usually start with Commissioner Moore.
Okay, well, this morning and afternoon, I attended Lobby Day in Olympia. It was sponsored by Association of Washington Cities. It was awesome. It was their first ever, and it was a wonderful opportunity to speak with our representatives in the state. And also, I learned that it is extremely valuable to talk with those representatives and senators that our own are working with to help encourage them to continue on the work that they're doing, and also that what affects one small city affects us all. And so I had an opportunity to meet with a number of people that I didn't know previously. It was very, very valuable, and I'm really glad that I went. Tomorrow I have a meeting with a constituent. Wednesday, I think I have something, but I don't have it written down, so unfortunately. And then Thursday I have my regular briefing. On Saturday, I'm excited. I'm going to be attending the Antlers movie over at the Shelton Cinemas. It's the story of the Antlers Hotel that is buried at the bottom of Lake Cushman. And one of my friends has been working on that project for a number of years, so I'm very excited to see that and support our Historical Society and learn more about the history of the Lake Cushman area. So that's what I'm doing this week.
Thank you very much, Commissioner McDowell.
Well, since we didn't have an actual meeting last week, I had my Board of Health meeting last week. Tuesday, tomorrow morning, my LEF board meeting, and Friday, monthly lunch for the Republican women, and Saturday I'm going to the movie at the theater, the Historical Society. I'm excited about that. That's my week.
All right, thank you very much. And today I also was over at the Capitol meeting with our senator and our representatives to talk about the issues that pertain to Shelton. And we have a wonderful group of people that we work closely with, Senator Tim Sheldon, Representative Dan Griffey, and Drew McEwen, and we are in constant contact with them, and they are helping us bring in infrastructure money and things like that. So it was always good to take the opportunity to go over there and meet with them. Wednesday night, I plan to attend the opiate forum at the library, I believe at 6:30 on Wednesday night. And I don't usually talk about a lot of things that I do during the week. I usually just give reports on the meetings I attend that I have basically are directly involved with the city. But one thing I have been doing pretty aggressively the past couple of months is working privately and with the help of our Chief Marin Duty, no, Chief Darren Moody, that's the name, on trying to locate homeless people into houses or ministries or places. It is something that is dear to my heart, and so he helped me with one particular one, and I have tomorrow I'm meeting with a local pastor and a homeless person, and we have, it looks like, an opportunity to get them off the street into a different situation. And so that would be my goal, 3 this year. And sometimes it's not all about the money and it's not all about the programs. It's about the mentorship. And it's about taking the time to get to know people just a little bit when you can and try and figure out what place in this city that you have that they can probably grow and operate in. And so I'm working hard on trying to do that, and sometimes like one homeless person at a time. But it's been kind of exciting because they're in much better places, and the first 2 are accelerating in those opportunities. But it's connecting the dots, and a lot of times it doesn't just come through the government and through programs. Sometimes it just comes through people trying to meet somebody, and there's risk involved with everything. But at the moment, there's a degree of success that I've been seeing in trying to take people one at a time and get them connected into a situation that would be better for them and also better for the community. So that's kind of something I've been doing, and I don't need a lot of credit for it because I was doing this before I was ever the mayor, and it's just kind of a hobby to me. And so we'll just see how it goes. Maybe we can just kind of make the city a better place for everybody, but we all need to kind of chip in and understand sometimes it's not about the program or the government or the what. Sometimes it's just about people reaching out and trying to find the right spot that person needs to be in. So that's my rant for tonight, for the media and all. So yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, before you're finished with
Sure.
that. I would love to hear reports on what you're doing with that, because, I'm working on the homeless housing on a bigger scale, not one-on-one. And I don't mean bigger as better, I just mean from a different avenue.
Absolutely.
And I would love to hear what you're doing that is helping get those successes one-on-one.
Well, it's kind of like I've been a mentor my whole life, and I work on other different angles for just young people that need a job and don't know how to get a job. And so I'm really excited about what the high school is doing. The high school has coming up, I believe, later this month, a kind of like how you function in life fair or whatever they call it. And I'm a big supporter of that. What they're doing at the high school, they're kind of teaching how you get a checking account, how much you got to pay for rent, where you get jobs, what kind of lifestyle could you have if you had this kind of job. So I think young people need mentors any way and every way that they can. And my particular thing is just something I've kind of done, And we've had some success stories. Obviously, there's failures along the way, but after this person gets placed, I'm planning to find somebody else. And we just try and do what we can do because we want to make it better for them and also for the city. And so from time to time, if I get somebody placed, I'll share I got another person placed, and I'll make my little thing. I got 3 marks there, and so we'll keep working on it. So is that?
Yeah, I would love to hear those success stories. One of the things that they talked about in the session this morning is the potential for using Medicaid dollars to actually pay for the staffing of homeless or group homes. And that is a new thing, which is awesome because we have the housing for veterans, and we haven't gotten the funds yet for the shelter to staff that. And so that is an avenue that we can use for that. So, there again, if we can work together and talk to our lobbyists and encourage those type of movements, that can bring success to our small city.
Absolutely.
So
and I will
good.
say that in this conversation we're having here, that the city of Shelton is probably in better shape than what I'm hearing from all the reports than a wide variety of other cities. And part of it is just because we're a wonderful little city and we all want to try and fix things up and do things right. But I believe that if people really want something to change, sometimes they got to kind of just reach out and try. And if there isn't a program, you just got to sometimes roll up your sleeves and get out there and do stuff. And So we'll see how things go. All I know is I am excited about that, and also excited about any government programs that money is available to help on that, especially veterans, things like that. Because with the homeless issue, as we know, there are many different reasons. And in just my own world, if I find somebody, I can talk to them, and I can find their reason, if they want out of that situation, 99%, there are programs and things already for maybe 99%. It's just getting them connected into that. And so that's kind of something that we're all working on, talking about. And that concludes our weekly commission reports.
I forgot to mention 2 things on my report.
Absolutely, Commissioner McDowell.
I have my weekly briefing that will be Friday instead of Thursday. And also, I'm going to be at the opiate. I'm on the Board of Health.
Wednesday, this week.
Is it this week or is it next week?
Wednesday, this week. According to our police chief, Darren Moody, it is at the library at 6:30 Wednesday.
And I'm on the Board of Health, so
Yeah,
I
well,
need to be there.
I was there at the one before the last one, and I think it's another issue that we all need to take heed to listen to. So,
I will be there as well. There's something else coming up on the 18th that I will be attending as well on our opiate problems. But yes, I will be there Wednesday as well.
Very good. Next is a general public comment period. If anybody has something on their mind they'd like to speak about, they are welcome to come and speak at this time.
No request.
No one signed up? Okay. So, at this point, are we prepared and ready for reading of the consent agenda?
Yes.
Okay, can we please have that?
Yes.
Consent agenda, vouchers numbered 14011 through 14111 in the amount of $214,497.27. Study session, or minutes from study session of February 13th, 2017, business meeting of February 20th, 2017, and study session of February 27th, 2017.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I will make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I'll second that motion.
And point of clarification, I think the proper word is to approve the consent agenda.
Excuse me.
Okay? Robert's rules, I took the class, so there you go, I can be the show
You want
off.
me to restate that?
No.
Okay.
So I think all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The agenda passes. And tonight, we have a fairly small meeting, looks like. There's no action agenda comments, no business agenda comments. And before we go into the other parts of this, I try to put more in the meetings so that we have like all 1 hour meetings. But it's not the way government works. It happens like, I think next week or the week after is probably going to be them 2 hour meetings, So anyway, tonight is a little bit of a shorter meeting, but if I had my way, we just have them all the 45 to 1 hour meetings, but we got to wait till all things are ready and the timing and the reports and stuff. So, Mr. City Manager, there.
2 things. Road diet improvement survey is online. That runs through the end of next week, so people can find that on our website, on our Twitter, Facebook accounts. And then last meeting, a question was raised about the compensated absences and also the potential pension liabilities. So I've provided you with the report that comes out of the pages from our annual report, and you'll see roughly $2.2 million total for those. Those are not included in the report that NOLA gave you a couple weeks ago because we're not making payments on these. These are separate, but they are reported every year in an annual report. She'll be in next week to do her monthly department update, and if you have questions after looking through this, you can feel free to fire away when you see her next week.
Okay, so
Thank you.
point of clarification then, the 47 point whatever million is really 49 point whatever million.
That number that was given to you 2 weeks ago is just what we're making payments on.
Oh, okay.
What you see in front of you, these 4 lines that are highlighted, those are debts that aren't, like she mentioned, they're virtual debts that we potentially could come and have to pay, but at this point, we aren't concerned about the pension system or paying off everybody for their vacation and sick leave, but we do monitor it.
you know what, this is exciting to have clear records and clear tracking, and that we know kind of how this stuff all works, and I'm very appreciative of staff to doing that and bringing that forward. So I guess at this time, if there's no more other final touches, I can announce that our next meeting will be April 10th at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. This meeting is adjourned. There we go.